Welcome on in, everybody. Jets Roundtable is back for the 2025 season. We are really excited to launch this YouTube channel, this show weekly, every single Thursday, 3 p.m. EST. You got me, Matt O'Leary, Jake Asman, and we're going to have some more Jets guests on throughout the season. Let's get it started. Look at that. Matt O'Leary is ready to go. He's ready to go. So why don't we bring him on in? Because it is time for the season to start. Jets football's back, folks. We made it. Matt, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great. Jets season is back. We're excited until we're not, but I'm excited for right now.
We're excited until we're not. Jake, you excited for now until you're not, or what? What's your level right now?
Just hearing the round table music again, that excites me. I'm ready. I'm ready to get hurt again. We know how this goes. We get excited and the season starts, and slowly we all lose our minds, and then we do it again. I mean, it never ends.
It never ends, indeed, and I don't want to be that guy, but we got to start with the devastating, the negatives, because boy, oh boy, did we get a little bit of a whirlwind of what it's like to be a Jets fan this week. Oh, baby, we got through training camp with no injuries. Yeah, you would have thought. Doesn't work like that if you're a Jets fan. I was shocked that we got through training camp with nothing serious, but then all of a sudden, we wake up on Tuesday. I sent out a tweet in the morning because I'm fired up. I'm like, oh, I'm excited. Jets football is almost back. And a half hour later, the Elijah Vera Tucker news breaks, and I just want to formally apologize. I jinxed the Jets. Nice. People are blaming me, folks, for the Elijah Vera Tucker news because I sent out that tweet a half hour before the news broke. It is my fault that Elijah Vera Tucker tore his tricep. He's out for the season. My apologies. I am the jinx. But all jokes aside, Jake, what was your reaction when you saw that news, man? Because it came out of absolutely nowhere. What are your thoughts, man? The floor is yours.
Yeah, it was just anger and frustration. And at first, you're like, unbelievable, but then it's like, it should be believable because, like, things have been going too well. Like, when they avoided the devastating Fields injury on day 2 of training camp, somehow they got through all of, the preseason and joint practices without, like, real major injuries. And on Tuesday of game week, you lose arguably your best offensive lineman for the season. Like, you can't make it up, and then it's like, but it's the Jets, so we should expect these things. I hate being that guy, but it's like it's just another thing that happens, and it's really the first true adversity that Aaron Glenn's facing as the Jet coach. Like, let's see how they handle it. Let's see how the team comes out and plays without AVT. But it's a big blow, and you feel for AVT because a day prior he's doing a press conference with the media talking about how excited he is for the season and what it means to him to be voted team captain. So just a brutal way to start game week for the Jets.
It really is brutal. I mean, you can't even describe how bad this is for AVT, and I feel so bad for him personally, man. I mean, you talk about a guy entering a contract year, coming off, finally being healthy a year ago, getting voted a captain, and you can just tell how much this season meant for him personally, because if he played healthy, good football this season, he was due to get paid in the offseason, whether that was with the Jets extending him or by another team, and now he's going to be signing a prove-it deal in the offseason, whether that's with the Jets or not, a 1-year, not a lot of money at all. So, Matt, your thoughts when you initially saw the news on Tuesday of AVT, the Jets captain of the offensive line, out for the whole season?
Yeah, unfortunately, you just can't make this up. Injuries completely derailing the early parts of his career. 3 years now out of 5, he has suffered a season-ending injury. It's so bizarre, too, to see a torn tricep happen. That's so rare. Not once, but twice. And he's done it on both arms. It's not like he hurt the same arm as a couple of years ago. Had an Achilles injury also. I love the guy when he's healthy. I think he's one of the top guards in the NFL. But unfortunately, health is a major factor in what's your contract going to look like going forward. And I don't know if the Jets will give him a long-term contract going forward. I think you're right. I think it's a prove-it deal. And TBD whether it's the Jets or someone else.
Yeah, and I know we got a long way to go to talk about offseason stuff, but would you want to give AVT a 1-year prove-it deal if it's a cheap contract? Or are you just like, nope, I want nothing to do with AVT anymore, 3 season-ending injuries in 5 years, I don't want anything to do with that issue? Jake, what would you say? If he's willing and the Jets are willing to do some type of reunion next year, would you be down or no?
I wouldn't rule it out, but I would lean with just moving on altogether. It's unfortunate, but they got to obviously address that position long term. We'll see if they address it with maybe keeping Simpson and then they look to the draft. I mean, if you tell me their plan is they're going to keep Simpson, they go into the draft, they're going to try and find a guard that could develop, and they'll sign AVT back to a 1-year prove-it deal. I could listen to that plan, but I think if there's a way to maybe solidify that spot long term, you do it. It would depend on the money. Like, what's a prove-it deal for AVT? If it's really below market for a starter, then sure, I think it would make some sense. But I have a funny feeling we've seen the last of him as a Jet.
Yeah, and it's just so unfortunate. He finally was healthy last year, voted a captain. But what does this mean for the Jets offensive line now? I think Joe Tippmann is going to get the opportunity to slide over to right guard and Myers at center. You know, Aaron Glenn was trying his best to not let the world know we got a center competition. We don't know who's starting. The depth chart's out. We got 2 starting centers. Now we know who's starting at center. It's going to be Myers, Tippmann at right guard. And if you guys remember, a few years ago, Joe Tippmann's rookie season, the game where AVT tore his Achilles, Joe Tippmann slid in at right guard in the middle of the game, and Breece Hall broke free on a 70-yard touchdown run, and Joe Tippmann was a big reason for that. So just some optimism there. What's your level of optimism, Matt, of this offensive line without Elijah Vera Tucker? They invested in Armand Membu in the first round. Olu is someone that I would say is the best offensive lineman on this unit now. John Simpson has been dealing with issues with injuries. And with Myers at center, Tippmann at right guard, what's your level of confidence in that unit to be able to do what they need to do to succeed?
Yeah, I think it definitely lowers the ceiling of what this offensive line could have been for the Jets in 2025. I think when you look at it, if they had everyone healthy, I think it could have been a top 10 offensive line in the NFL. I think Joe Tippmann's good, and honestly, there might be a chance that he's better at guard than he is center because of the size, and some people have suggested moving him to guard at some point in his career anyway. That's not really the area I'm concerned with. I'm concerned with Myers. I get it. He has a ton of starting experience in the NFL, but if you look at his numbers, was fairly mediocre, a below average starter. So he, I think, becomes the weakest link on the offensive line. Luckily, I think John Simpson and Joe Tippmann could maybe hide that a little bit, but it's not going to be the same dominant unit that I think we were hoping to see this year.
Yeah, Jake, your thoughts of this offensive line without Elijah Vera Tucker? How do you think they're going to be able to adjust?
I think Matt nailed it. I think they could be okay, early on as long as no one else gets hurt. But that's kind of my big concern, right? Like, you're already tapping into your chess piece depth move of having to play Tippmann out of position and having to start Myers. What happens if someone else now gets hurt? Like, I always felt like you're in case of emergency tackle could have been AVT and he could have slid over and then you'd be able to still kind of figure it out with Tippmann moving the guard. Now, all of a sudden, what are the odds that the Jets' new 5 guys all stay healthy? So I think they could be okay. I don't think I don't think Tippmann's going to be like a huge drop off from AVT. I don't think Myers is a great center, but you can get away with your center being weak if the other positions are strong. I think it just adds a lot of pressure to Armand Membu in his first game, right? Dealing with TJ Watt, not having a veteran and Vera Tucker there to help him through a lot of stuff. He's got to play well almost immediately because that could be something that could totally change the outcome of this game Sunday if he doesn't.
I thought the same exact thing as you, Jake. This is not just a big blow for AVT, of course, but it's a big blow for Armand Membu. Not just week 1, but for the season. Having that security blanket next to you, a veteran like Elijah Vera Tucker next to you to help you with communication, to rely on, to lean on as a rookie, that's gone. And now he's going to have to lean on Joe Tippmann, has experience at right guard, but he's going to have to learn that position just like Armand Membu is going to have to learn that position in the next level of the NFL. So that's unfortunate, but hey, next man up. I mean, I don't have that mindset of the season's over. The season didn't even start, okay? I mean, and let's not pretend that us Jets fans have these, expectations of winning 10 games or something. It's not like we have Super Bowl aspirations, all right? Let's stop with the whole season's done, same old Jets right before. Come on, man. Let's watch them go play football before we start saying these types of things. All right, that's all I'm going to say about that. But let's turn the page over because we do have a game this Sunday, and that's why I wanted to wait for the Jets Roundtable to be back right before Week 1 because I felt like we do enough off-season stuff, training camp stuff. What more can you get? I want to talk ball with you three. With you guys, all right, with us 3. And there's going to be more guests, by the way, as we continuously show up on this show. Want to give a big shout out to everybody in the chat real quick. We got JT in the house, Danger Zone, Bada Bing, We got a lot of fun people. Johnny, Ian, Sean, Zachary, Isaac. All right, we appreciate everybody tuning in. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the brand new YouTube channel here on Jets Roundtable. Okay, so let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. Before we go deeper into week number 1, I want to get your guys' thoughts on some season predictions. Because now, like I just said, some people are writing the season off. We're done. AVT was everything, apparently. No disrespect, AVT. We were going to miss you, but come on. It's just one player. Injuries happen. It's a violent sport. The tough ones are the ones that are able to overcome it. So, Matt, I know you eloquently released a great season prediction video, and you have a lot of season predictions with stats. Why don't you give us some of those here on this show? What's your expectations and some predictions you have for the 2025 season for these Jets?
Yeah, so I think the big one everyone always asks, what's the record prediction? How many wins do the Jets have? And I think I'm somewhere in the middle. There's people who are like really down on this Jets season and saying, they're a 4-win team. And I think there's some who are very optimistic saying that they're a 9 or 10-win team. I have the Jets at 7-10, which in year 1 with Aaron Glenn, and depending on how those 10 losses come, I think can be okay. They don't really have a long-term answer at quarterback right now, or at least they have a major question mark at quarterback. I think that's at least fair to say. I think they're going to be an extremely run-heavy team. I split the rushes pretty evenly between Justin Fields, Braylon Allen, and Breece Hall. I don't know if any of the 3 go over 1,000 yards because of how much they split it up, but I had each one of those guys all between the 6 to 1,000-yard mark. I think Breece was like 975, Fields was in the 700s, and Braylon was somewhere in the 600s. So I think Garrett gets over 1,000 yards as usual. You can pencil him in. He's the new Mike Evans and just going for 1,000, 1,100 yards every year. I just think defensively will be improved from a year ago, and it results in a couple more wins than they had last year.
I hope so. I mean, the coaching staff is going to be the first thing that I'm going to keep my eyes on. How do they look on game day? Do they actually look different on the football field? Do they play different stylistically? Do they still have these crazy penalties? We shall see. So, Matt, your win total was what again you had?
7-10.
7-10. Jake, do you agree?
I'm at 6 and 11.
Ooh,
yeah, I know.
almost.
I was almost at 7-10. I started at 4. I smelled 4. I was going to get all the way up to 7. I think I'm going to stay at 6. The AVT thing I think is a big blow. I do, because now I'm worried about other injuries too. On top of all that, I think they're going to be better coached. I just have a lot of questions about Justin Fields. I don't like the receiver room. I know they want to run the ball, and Mason Taylor could be awesome, but he's a rookie. There's just too many ifs. It's like if this the Jets never hit on the ifs. That's the big problem. Like, show me, and I want to believe. I do. I was going to go 7 wins, and I don't even feel great about that. I want more, but, the last 2 years I've had the Jets winning 12, and look what's happened. So I think it's a good thing that I'm down on the dumps on them, because I'm hoping the opposite happens. But, yeah, I was anywhere from 6 to 7 wins, and I think with the AVT news, I'm going to just stick at 6 and hope I'm dead wrong.
Yeah, I think these are all realistic expectations. I mean, the one thing about this team is there's just a giant unknown. We have no idea who Justin Fields is yet. There was 3 drives with him as the quarterback. We don't know who Aaron Glenn is as a head coach. We're in this new era of Jets football. We don't know if it's going to be positive or not. So that's why if I were you, as a Jets fan, I would keep your expectations low, because I am expecting 6-7 wins as well. I'm not super high on it. And when it comes to Justin Fields, I mean, talk about him for a second and predicting his season. There's already Jets fans, and you have to do it, already looking closely at college football in terms of this draft class, because there's a big chance that the Jets are looking after a quarterback in this year's first round. But is there a world where Fields proves we don't have to go after a quarterback in year 1? So, Matt, what does Justin Fields need to do this year to prove to us fans, but more importantly, the coaching staff and the front office of this Jets team, that he could be the guy moving forward?
Yeah, for me, I think we all know that he's a great rushing quarterback, and I think we'll see that this year, but I need him to be more consistent as a passer. I think there's been flashes of it, but he hasn't hit 3,000 yards in a season passing yet, let alone 4,000 yards. So, look, I don't know if he would ever, even at the peak of his powers be a guy who's going to throw for 4,000 yards, just because I don't think the volume is going to be there in the passing game. But maybe combined passing and rushing, but 4,000 to 4,500 yards in that range. And then on top of that, between passing and rushing touchdowns around 30, I think that would be enough for me to feel pretty confident. That would put him, in my opinion, towards the top half of the league in quarterbacks. But, right now, I just don't think that's where he is. I think he's probably around the 23rd to 27th best quarterback in the NFL. So we would need to see a pretty significant step forward.
And I feel like there's one stat in particular that Justin Fields needs to show he's capable of, and that's wins. I mean, I know quarterback wins don't really come together, and some people say that. But I feel like if Justin Fields just wins as a quarterback, that's really all we need to see that we can win with him. And the passing numbers and all those metrics will come with it. So, Jake, what's your thoughts of Justin Fields? Do you think there's a world where he is the long-term guy? And if he has to prove it, what does he need to do this season to prove it?
I think you're right, Richie. I think it is like, it's not obviously only just based on wins, but if he's a leader to those wins, like if he's like not just a passenger, he's directly contributing to this team winning games, then maybe he could be here beyond just this year as like the unquestioned starter. I think it's a combination of the records. Got to be at least, to me, 8, if not even 9 wins, so you could say you had a winning season. And he's got to look good in a lot of the games. He's got to be a reason why that they're winning. It can't just be, they're winning in spite of him. Like the Jets won 7 games a couple of years ago with Zach Wilson, Tim Boyle, Trevor Siemian. Like it has to be because Fields is a big reason why they're winning some of these games. And I think that's the only way that he'll be the starter beyond, just this 1 year. There's a chance he's maybe the starter going in the next year as the bridge quarterback. If they're in a spot where they take someone in the draft and that guy sits you're behind Fields till he's ready. But I think winning should matter. Like going out there and going 9-8, that's going to be the difference in whether or not Fields is like the unquestioned week 1 starter. You feel good about him going forward.
We're live on the Jets Roundtable with Matt O'Leary and Jake Asman. Make sure you guys go check out their respective YouTube channels down below in the description. Hit that thumbs up button and support us right here on the channel. We appreciate it. We're talking some season predictions, and I agree with everything you guys said. I think that I'll be straight up, man. My expectations for Justin Fields heading into the season, they're pretty low. I mean, I'm not, like, based off of what I saw at practice, all the times I went, and the limited sample size in the preseason, like, I'm not super confident. Like, I'm not coming away impressed. And it's just practice and all that, but I never was coming away at practice like, whoa, like, he's got something. And that's just how I feel. He obviously is an elite quarterback at running the football, but that can absolutely be exploited by shutting down the pass. And I don't know if this Jets football team is going to be able to survive by just being a run-first offense, and that's it. And we saw a report from Dan Graziano today. Breaking news, the Jets are going to be a run-first offense. Oh, did you guys see that report?
Yeah, go figure. The sun's coming up tomorrow.
I mean, I love Dan Graziano. He does fantastic work over at ESPN.
I don't. I think he does terrible work, but that's fine.
Oh, he does.
Yeah, I mean, did anyone remember what he would say about the Jets and Aaron Rodgers for the last 2 years? Yeah, I don't care if I technically worked with him. I think he's terrible, but good for him. Great take. The Jets are going to try and run the football this year. Well done.
Yeah, I saw that like everywhere. It's like, whoa, the Jets are going to be running the football. Really? That's what we're going to be doing? We're going to try to run with Justin Fields and Breece?
Sweeney has big cans. I don't know if you guys are aware of that one.
No, I didn't know that. That's a new one. That's another breaking news. I mean, that's what it comes like. That's just what it comes down to when you have all of these to talk about. Now, I want to get into our first Patreon caller. So on Jets Roundtable, we got a nice caller segment, and it's going to be LaSalle who's up first. LaSalle, you're live, my man. What's up?
What's up, man? What's up, guys?
How you doing?
Real quick. I just want to say again, I don't have a lot of expectation for this team. I expect one offense with a great defense. But
he sounds
right,
worse
LaSalle.
than StreamYard callers. I didn't think that was possible.
LaSalle, Can't hear you, buddy. So we had to let you go there, unfortunately. If you want to get access to call into the Jets Roundtable, we have the Roundtable Sports Patreon caller, and when you become a Patreon caller, you get access to all of the call-in links throughout the entire network, all the 8 division shows, our daily Fourth and Forever show, and all of our individual team shows like the Jets Roundtable as well. So become a Patreon member, and you'll be able to come call in. Now, sorry for that, Lascelles, by the way. We couldn't really hear you, so we had to let you go there. No worries at all. Now, what is your guys' predictions for this defense? Because I feel like we're all focused and hyper-fixated on the offense, which we should because we haven't had a good offense. It feels like forever. But this defense, man, fully healthy and ready to go. Steve Wilks is someone that I got trust in. And my favorite part about this defense that I'm really excited about is this. I love that this scheme, and this is according to Aaron Glenn and Steve Wilks, they're building this scheme based off of the strengths of the roster. This isn't like a system that's one of those systems where Steve Wilks builds and it's got to learn the system. No, they're building the system for the personnel, for the strengths of this team. So, Matt, what's your thoughts of this defense? Do they have top 5 ability, top 10 ability, or is it going to be a learning curve? Because I definitely think this defense has a chance to be special this year.
I think they're going to be improved from where they were a year ago. I definitely think Jermaine Johnson coming back is a major win for this defense. I think Will McDonald can have another double-digit sack season this year for the Jets. And I think Sauce Gardner is going to be back to being his all-pro self, which we saw his first 2 years. I think they're right around the top 10 defense. In that 10 to 14 range, I think they're above average. I just don't know if they have the firepower to be as good as what they were in 22 or 23. I still think there's a couple of question marks with the depth on the defensive line.
Interesting. So when it comes to this defense, where do you think the weakness is? What part are you worried about as a defense?
Their edge 3 being Michael Clemens and Jermaine Johnson coming off of an Achilles injury. I think they're going to take it slow with him. And before they had guys like John Franklin Myers rotating through and Bryce Huff rotating through. I love the additions they made on the interior of the defensive line, like the Harrison Phillips trade, I think was really solid. But they are a little questionable at edge on, depth wise. I like their secondary a lot, but if there's one injury to either of the linebackers in Quincy Williams or oh my God, I keep freaking blanking on his name.
Jamie and Sherwood.
Jeez, I don't know why that was so hard for me to get out.
Team MVP, Jamie and Sherwood.
Team MVP, Jamie and Sherwood. There we go. Jeez, my brain is not ready for football. But I think if there's an injury to either one of those two guys, they're kind of screwed because they don't really have anyone beyond that who I think could step in and play like they did last year when Sherwood came in and replaced CJ Mosley.
Yeah, I agree. The depth at those positions are definitely something. I think the strength, what do you think the strength of his defense is, Jake? When you look at his defense, what part of it do you think is something that you can really say could be the reason why this defense is really good this season? What's their strength?
I think their corners are awesome. I do. Like I'm buying what we have heard about Brandon Stevens. I think if we can't trust Aaron Glenn when it comes to corners and getting the most out of that position, what can we trust them, right? So the Jets identified someone that they think fits their defense, which is going to feature a lot of man coverage because they're going to blitz a lot more and corners are going to be on an island. And I think Stevens is going to do a nice job replacing DJ Reed. I think Michael Carter might be the most underrated player on this entire team. I think him being healthy is huge. And I really like the camp that Sauce has had. I think Sauce, after getting paid, after everything that went down last year, he didn't have the best year. We all know that. But let's not forget how good he was his first 2 years. I think he's going to get back to being that all-pro level corner again. So I think their corners are very good. They got to stay healthy like any other position on this team. But I think the secondary is going to be a strength. There'll be some good Cisco moments. I think he'll be better than what they've had on the back end. I'm encouraged by what we saw from Malachi Moore this summer. Hopefully he gets more up to speed, the further along we go. I think they're going to have a pretty good secondary. I think the biggest X factor for the defense, Richie, what level of Jermaine Johnson do we see? Because you have McDonald. If JJ's close to what he's been, and we'll see with the Achilles, I think having him back is huge for that defensive line. And then obviously I love the Harrison Phillips trade, as Matt brought up, and I think Quinnen's going to be Quinnen. So I think they could be a top 10 defense. They could be better than that if a couple of those variables we discussed go their way.
Now, I don't want to be that guy, but I'm going to have to be that guy. You just said something. Quinnen's going to be Quinnen. I'd argue Quinnen wasn't Quinnen last year. Do you think Quinnen is going to be Quinnen this year?
I do. I do. I think there's going to be some positive regression with Sauce, Quinnen, and even Quincy. Quincy didn't have the best year last year. Sherwood was better than him.
Who did have a good year last
year?
Right.
I think if you look at the defense last year, the only guys who probably played above their expectation level were two players, Will McDonald, and let's be fair, he had 10.5 sacks. 7 of them were in the first half of the season. So it was very front loaded. 3 of them I think happened in the Patriot games alone. So I think if you look at the defense a year ago, there were a lot of down years from their best players. If Sauce, Quinnen, Quincy are closer to what they were 2 seasons ago, this defense is going to be a lot better. And I think I do think they're going to be well coached on that side of the ball. I think Steve Wilks is a proven defensive coordinator in this league, and your head coach is Aaron Glenn, who was a great defensive coordinator in the first place. That's how he got the head coaching job.
I agree. Now, Matt, actually, before we go to you, Matt, we got to get Jake's thoughts of week 1 because he has to run in just a few minutes. Matt, we're going to hear from Jake about his preview and predictions. Give it to us, Jake. The floor is yours before you head out of here. Give us your preview and predictions for week 1.
Yeah, I've gone back and forth on this. There's earlier in the week, I was going to pick the Jets, and now I have a bad feeling in my stomach. I do. I think it's close. I have more trust in Mike Tomlin than I do Aaron Glenn, and I think that's ultimately what it could come down to here. I think the Steelers win a close one, an ugly one. I'm going to say it's 16-13. Pittsburgh wins. I don't think it's my biggest fear initially when the schedule came out was, Rodgers going to torch that. I don't think it's going to be that, but I think it's going to be an ugly game, and I don't have a whole lot of faith in the Jets offense until I see it. So that's my thing. I don't think Rodgers will torch them, but I think he'll do just enough. They'll find the end zone. And I think Pittsburgh's going to win an ugly game. I hope to God I'm wrong. I really do.
And last question for you, Jake. What matchups are you looking at? Give me one matchup that you're definitely going to keep your eyes on in this matchup.
I think it's Armand Membu against TJ Watt because I think in a low-scoring kind of ugly game, if Watt makes a huge play, forces a fumble, strip sack, whatever, I feel like that could be the difference. So that's a matchup. And then, if the Jets are going to win this game, their defense has to be incredible. And I think you're going to ask Sauce to probably cover Metcalf most of the game on an island. He's got to go out there and I don't know if shutting him down is fair, but he's got to make plays and take him out of the game. And I think those are the two things I'm looking at on each side of the ball for the Jets offense and defense.
And Sauce has experience. 2 games he's went up against DK Metcalf. So let's see who wins this battle on Sunday. Jake, always a pleasure to have you on. Make sure you guys go check out the Jake Asman Show. Jake, see you later, my friend. Appreciate you.
Can't wait. Looking forward to this every week. I'll be able to stay longer next time, but today's a crazy day because who schedules a work event the night of week 1 of the NFL season? But that's what I got to deal with later.
Later, Jake. Appreciate
Thanks,
you, bro.
Guys.
Later. All right. Me and you, Matt. Let's do it.
I'm ready, baby.
All right. We got some Patreon callers. JT is live. JT, what's up, man?
Yo, Matt Richie. How are you doing?
We're doing great.
Let's go. I agree with a lot of Jake's points there. I think Sauce against Metcalf might be an intriguing matchup to watch. Do we know how, with Sauce's injury, how worried are we about a fibula injury? Is that a bone bruise, do we think? Because it doesn't seem like calf like they were first saying.
Yeah, I was there when that injury happened at practice, and it was his first practice back from his calf, and it was a weird play where it was in the back right corner of the end zone, and Fields threw it, and Josh Reynolds stopped running his route. If he kept running, he probably would have made the catch. Sauce went up, and they collided, and then he gets up, and he's limping. And I thought he re-injured his calf, but I guess he didn't. I think it's a bone bruise, and bone bruises, they're not significantly something to be worried about, but it lingers, and it's takes a long time to heal. And if Sauce is not 100%, then I'm definitely a little concerned for that matchup against DK. But we shall see.
I completely agree, especially because obviously as a corner, he's using his legs for the most part to follow the receiver and shit. I think they might need to use the safety to kind of shade over the top just to make sure nothing crazy goes on, to give Sauce some help. Not because I don't think Sauce can cover DK, but because of the injury concern, he's not going to be 100%. Sauce at 90%, might be enough for DK to do some damage. You don't know. So better be safe than sorry. But I think Steve Wilkes is a proven enough and good enough defensive coordinator to actually game plan properly. I think we actually have good coaching. That's what we're gonna find out Sunday. How not like solidify our take on it, but like how good is this coaching staff? How well can we prepare for a team? Because this team did not prepare well for teams the past 3 or 4 years, and it was frustrating. I mean, just straight running up the gut until it's 3rd and 8, and then passing incompletion and punt away. Like, I'm ready to see. I'm ready to see the motion that we saw against in preseason this year. I'm ready to see the option plays. I'm ready to see it all, baby. 27-16 Jets win. Jets, Jets, baby. See you Sunday, Rich.
Now that's a Patreon caller if I've ever heard one, Matt.
Oh, I love
JT.
that.
All right. I mean, what's your thoughts of his call there? There's a lot of passion.
A lot of passion. There were many things that stood out, but one of the things that stood out the most from that call was when he was talking about the motion in the offense. And I think that's going to be one of the biggest changes going from a more stagnant old school style offense with Aaron Rodgers and Nate Hackett. I don't think that's going to be the case this year. I think with Justin Fields and Tanner Engstrand, we're going to see motion on a lot of these plays. And with all the threats they have running the ball, I think it makes a lot of sense to do that. And there's opportunities to get creative.
There is opportunity to get creative. And, I am excited to see what this coaching staff is about because that's something we just no idea. We have no idea what this coaching staff is going to look like. Like, what are you looking for, Matt? I think when it comes for me, the first thing I'm looking at when it comes to coaching is this. Penalties. I mean,
yeah.
it's on the players, of course. They got to be the ones to not be penalized. But, Aaron Glenn's been preaching discipline. And you can't be one of those coaches that you're just preaching all these things and then they don't come to fruition. So what are you looking at on Sunday from a coaching staff perspective?
Yeah, penalties is a great one. I think that's a good one to highlight. In addition to that, I want to see them come out and be ready to play. I don't want it to be, man, like they are struggling to stay in this game in the first half and then they turn it on in the second half. Like from the opening whistle, be ready to go. And I think that would be something that makes me feel a little bit more confident in this coaching staff than previous regimes.
Yeah, I feel like the overall getting off to a fast start is so important because I don't trust this team coming back from being down 2 scores. The identity of this football team, as Dan Graziano wanted to tell the whole world, like, great scoop there, it's going to be running the football. And I don't know if I trust this team being down 2 scores and coming back. I think the only way they can come back is if the defense can make some type of splash and get them back in the game. Like, that's the thing, Matt. With the pass attack, that's where you get limited, is when you get down. They're going to be built on having a lead and staying close and winning the fourth quarters.
Yeah, without a doubt. And they're not really built offensively to come back in these games. So I think we're going to see a lot of long, methodical drives, eat the clock. And I think it'll yield a lot of low-scoring football games. And, in the games the Jets do win this year, I think that's how it's going to be. I don't think they're built to blow anybody out or have a crazy, 20-point comeback.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if they're able to establish their philosophy early on. And their philosophy on offense is going to be running the football. And I think their philosophy on defense, Matt, is going to be taking the ball away. Something this Jets defense has not done, even under Robert Saleh. As great as the defense was under Saleh and Ulbrich, they just never were a defense to take the ball away. Do you think we're going to see a defense that is capable of that? Why we see them take the ball away more often than not? Because that's what Aaron Glenn instilled in Detroit. That's what Steve Wilkes is about. More man coverage, exotic blitzes, teaching them how to turn their head around and attack the ball. Are we going to see more of a turnover-prone defense for the New York Jets?
I think so, just because some of the things you listed off there. I think this will be a more aggressive unit, and there might be some more big plays that they let up, kind of like in that Giants preseason game with the big play that Andre Sisco got beat on. But I think if it results in more turnovers, I think it's worth it. And with the amount they're going to blitz, I think they get more pressure on the quarterback than what they did last year. And when a quarterback's pressure, that's when they're prone to the mistake throw. And that's when the Jets can be able to capitalize.
Yeah, and I think the key to victory for me in week number 1 are exactly what we're talking about. If they're able to run the football effectively, win the turnover battle, and limit the penalties, they'll win the game. Not easy to do.
But it's simple. It's a simple recipe.
It feels simple, so go do it, would you? I mean, come on, Matt. Now, I feel like this game coming up is our Super Bowl. Now, bear with me here. The reason why I say that is this week 1 game feels different because we know Jets fans, by being creators for as long as we have, Matt, if we win week 1, what is this fan base saying?
Playoffs, baby.
If we lose, what are they saying?
Fire Aaron Glenn.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, yeah, it's exactly that. If we lose, same old Jets, bench Fields, get Aaron Glenn out of here. We suck. 2 wins incoming, back to the draft, tank for Drew Aller, whatever the case may be. If we win, oh boy, extend Fields if he goes out there and balls. You know, it's just, there's no middle. And as much as I try on my channel to preach, stay here, it's always this and that. And that's why I love Jets fans, because I will dig my 10 toes into this take. I always will. I passionately believe the New York Jets have the best and the most passionate fan base in the NFL. I really believe that. There's no fan base that moves like us.
No, I mean, well, look at us. We're both going to games, the game this week, and bringing, you know, probably over 100, 200 fans combined to this thing. And the team, oh, by the way, has the longest active playoff drought.
And that's why.
Yeah.
Right there is why. We're starving, bro. That's what it is. It's like we're sitting here desperate, and we're still showing up, and we're still doing it. And like when I posted that tweet a few days ago, I'm super excited for Jets football, I got so much backlash. Like, what are you excited for? Like 3 wins? Like, I think there's a confusion, Matt, with some people. Me saying I'm excited does not mean I'm expecting greatness. I'm just excited for the football season to start and my Jets to play. Is there anything wrong with that?
No, you're allowed to be excited to watch your favorite football team. I think that's a fair and rational take.
I'm like, wait, so I can't be excited about my favorite football team that I grew up loving, even though they stink? Come on. I mean, what are we doing here? And now AVT goes down a half hour later, and the comments flood. Still excited? See what I mean? You jinxed us. I'm like, up, right hand up. I injured AVT's tricep for sending out that tweet, even though it happened already a day prior. But it is what it is. Gotta love it. Gotta love it, man. Listen, man, this is going to be a long, long season, and it finally starts this Sunday at MetLife Stadium, man. It's going to be an absolute epic experience. And we talked about AVT going out for the year, Matt, and it still shocks me. And it's one of those tough pills we have to swallow. And the reason why I bring back this injury is because what Aaron Glenn said when he became this Jets football coach in his opening press conference, he said, and I'm paraphrasing here, we're the freaking New York Jets. We're built for this. Talking about adversity. That should be the mindset of this fan base. Yep. Wake up, Jets fans. Stop being soft and stop crumbling up into a little ball and crying about an injury. Because Aaron Glenn is not going to do that. The culture that he's trying to build here is toughness, overcoming injuries. Did you see how many injuries Aaron Glenn had to his Detroit last year?
A ton.
I mean, was he like sitting there like, oh, our defense is all injured? We suck. We're done. No, he coached them up, and he dominated in that game against the Vikings, Sam Darnold. Sorry, Sam, but Aaron Glenn dominated you. You know what I mean? Like, that's what my point is here. Let's see what this team is. And my take all season, Matt, what this football team has been, failure is going to be the ultimate test for who Aaron Glenn's football team is going to be with this Jets team. Adversity. How do they deal with it? And they got it right before the season begins.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. You get it right out of the gate. You don't even have an opportunity to get your feet wet in the season. And I love AVT, like really, really good football player. But if we're crying that the season's over because they lost their right guard, like that's a little bit much. To me, it didn't sway my win-loss record at all. I was at 7 wins before the injury. I'm at 7 wins after the injury. I think they should be able to find a way to piece together an offensive line that could at least function in the NFL.
Yeah, and I agree, man. I think this is, there's no blessing in an AVT injury whatsoever, but there could be something emerge, which is Joe Tippmann being a right guard for the future, and then maybe finding a center next year, but whatever. We don't want to talk about any future stuff here. We're focusing on week number 1. All right, let's get back to the Patreon callers because he's back and he's ready to go. Yeah. Lascelles, are you live now?
Yeah, no, I'm not. You hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. What's up, bro?
Okay. Well, Well, I was gonna say I do agree. With a lot of your takes. Jake Asman when he was on and whatever, ever. I'm not expecting a lot from this team, but a change actually. I do agree with you, Richie. I feel like right now we're being a bunch of wusses and being like, oh, that is what we did in the past. This is what we did in the past. We should be doing the now, like right now. Like AVT might be hurt, but we've been through this before. We've been through this stuff. We've been through AVT being hurt. So if we don't bounce back, if all of us this thing is over, I'm like, what have we been dealing with about? And we still haven't gotten better with it. No, need to calm down and be like, hey, one guy doesn't make the team. Especially on the offensive line. It's a whole group effort, the offensive line. AVT is hurt. I feel bad for him. But at the end of the day, we got to win football.
Exactly. Great call there from Lascelles. Still a little in and out there, Lascelles. You got to fix that mic of yours. But I think we got the concept of what he was saying. We got the gist, Matt.
100%. Definitely got the gist of what
I heard wussies.
yeah, a bunch of wussies out there. Now, it's next man up. You've been saying it this whole episode. It stinks. I love AVT. I feel for the guy. I really do. But now it's on Joe Tippmann. Slide over and play guard. I think he could do it well, especially with his size. And Josh Myers has starting experience in this league. He might be the number 5 guy on the line. But going into last year, we weren't really all that high on John Simpson, and then he had a great year. So hoping for the same thing out of Myers now.
Exactly. Folks, if you want to become a Patreon member for Roundtable Sports, that link is pinned at the top of the chat. It's $10 a month, and you get access to call into not just this show, but every single Roundtable show across our network, every single division show, our daily Fourth and Forever show, and, of course, the Jets Roundtable all season long. Matt, let's have some fun now and do some bold predictions. Ooh. Sleepers. Who's going to have a season that we are not going to see coming? Will McDonald was that guy last year. Quincy Williams was that guy a few years ago when he broke out. Even you can argue Jamian Sherwood was that guy last year. Who's someone that we're not going to see, that no one's seeing right now? No one's seeing him coming, and he is going to be out there balling. Not just week one, just for the season. For the offense. Is there anybody that comes to your mind?
Andrew motherfucking Beck, baby.
Whoa! Hit the sirens. Pew, pew, pew.
Andrew Beck season. I am here for it. I think he has one because of the blocking ability. I think is going to be a major factor in the run game. But we saw he could catch passes too. He might be tight end
king.
Yeah, check down King. He might be tight end too on this team. I know technically Jeremy Ruckert's listed as a starter, but I think Mason Taylor's the guy, but I'm all in on Andrew Beck.
That reminds me, great take, by the way. I love the Jelani Woods pickup off the waiver wire. I mean, I remember loving him in the draft process. I wanted the Jets to draft him or Ruckert, and he went early in the 3rd round, and then the Jets get Ruckert. When the Colts released Woods, I immediately was like, the Jets got to be all over this. This is like an absolute gem if he's healthy. His issue has been injuries. In the last 2 years, he had a turf toe and then hamstring that took him out this whole year. And then the Colts, they invested in Tyler Warren. They got Mo Alley Cox. They got a loaded tight end room, so he did not make the roster. And we've seen this Jets team make some waiver wire claims before of gems. Quincy Williams, John Franklin Myers, Braxton Berrios, Ty Johnson. Am I missing any that were good?
No, those are the first ones that come
right?
to mind for me. Yeah.
There's no one really else. But those were good, solid pickups at the time, and Quincy Williams is the only one here with us left. But do you think Woods has a chance to be like an impactful piece to this offense right out of the gate, or is he not going to really get an opportunity?
I don't know, because it just feels like there's a lot of bodies in that room now. And maybe because of his upside, he's one of them. But I mentioned Mason Taylor. I mentioned Andrew Beck already. Is he over Stone Smart and Jeremy Ruckert, I think is the question. I like Stone Smart's receiving upside, I think a little bit more than Woods, but you could make the case that Woods is a better all-around tight end than both Ruckert and Stone Smart. So I think it'll be interesting. I don't really know how to answer that right now.
Yeah, it's a wait and see. We did not see him. He looked really good in this past preseason. I mean, I turned on, he had 7 catches for like 85 yards, which is more than any tight end for us in the preseason. And he was out there making plays. He's a 6'7" monster, really good in blocking. Like, I watched that. I'm like, that's better than any tight end we have. I mean, Mason Taylor, we don't know what he is yet. We're expecting him to be that guy. But that, just from the eye test, he looks way more talented as a threat in the receiving game than what we have. So I'm excited to see what he looks like. Now, my guy on offense, you picked Beck. I'm going to pick a rookie that everybody was doubting when we drafted him, Arian Smith.
Okay.
I think Arian Smith is going to have a really good season. Now, his season is not going to be, what's the word? It's not going to be volume. It's going to be sporadic explosion. Does that make any sense?
What 1,000%. I agree. And when I did my number projections, I didn't really have him with a ton of yards, but I don't think they're going to throw the ball a lot, dude. And once you get past the top 3 guys, right? Like if you think Garrett's 1,000, and let's just use round numbers for Breece Hall and Mason Taylor, put him at 500 yards apiece. That's 2,000 yards right there. So with every other guy on the roster, you're looking at it maybe another 1,200 yards to go around between those guys. So it might not be a crazy volume, but I wouldn't be surprised if we look back on the season and go, man, he had like 3 really big catches this year. And he'll have more than 3 catches on the season, but I'm talking like, 3
Explosive
catches.
plays.
Yeah, explosives. Thank you. Yes, explosive plays. And, maybe not as much this year, but that could be something going forward in this offense, I think.
Yeah, we need that. I mean, we don't really have, and they're going to use him all over the place. I saw at practice them use him as an end around, that nice reverse. And if you get him out in space, he's got speed. And I'm hoping that because Justin Fields, the one thing that he does have that, his passing is the big thing that he struggles with. But I will argue that Justin Fields has talent in his arm. Like, it's not like he can't throw. It's just consistency in matching his talent with his eyes. But I'm hopeful, Matt, that eventually when the ground and pound really starts to get going and the defenses start just loading up the box and Justin Fields can recognize the defense, they're in man coverage and it's a single high safety and that safety is kind of bracketing Garrett Wilson and then you have Arian Smith one-on-one on the outside with somebody, I would love for them to take a shot to Arian Smith on a goal ball because he is that good where if he gets a clean release off the line of scrimmage, he will completely burn whoever is up against him. And if Fields can drop it in the bucket, that's a touchdown. So that is a weapon. The Jets drafted him because of his speed element, and that's it. That's the trait that they want to bring to this offense. We have not had a burner. Like, who's the last time the Jets had like a legit burner on this? Like Robbie Anderson?
Anderson, I was going to say, yeah.
Yeah, like that's a vertical. Like Garrett Wilson, as great as he is, he's not a burner. Like that's not who he is. The Jets have lacked that speed element, and I think that Arian Smith can really take the top off the defense if they unleash it. And I saw a really cool route that he ran at practice that stood out to me where he hesitated. It looked like he was going a deep go ball, and then he just plants his feet in the grass like 20 yards and does a crazy comeback. And it's like when you're that fast and you have these corners like, oh my God, he's going on a go route, and then he just plants his feet in the grass and it's a comeback route and the ball can be out on time. Like, you can get really creative with that type of talent. And he had a really good training camp, Arian Smith. He absolutely did.
Yeah, he did. And, I was someone who was pretty skeptical of the pick, but, I think he outperformed my expectations. The one thing that I am a little bit concerned with or want to see at the NFL level, we know he's fast. I know he's going to blow by corners. He's going to make big plays. But at his size, if he's dealing with press coverage, is he going to get pushed around at the line of scrimmage? That's what I really want to find out.
Yeah, that's exactly why I said if he gets a clean release. Because if he doesn't get a clean release, he's toast. And that's what Sauce Gardner is so good at. Why everyone complains he's handsy and all these things. Well, Sauce Gardner is literally checks you at the line of scrimmage, gets you off the timing. That's what makes Sauce so good. So we'll see, man. I think Arian Smith has a chance. Now, what's your expectations for the rookie going back to the tight ends, Mason Taylor? Because his injury in the preseason kind of took him out, and we barely saw him at all in the preseason. We saw him catch one ball, which was like a 4-yard catch. Like, do you think he's someone that's going to be making plays right away? Because it seems like he has that confidence to him where he's just going to go out there and be like a pro's pro immediately.
Yeah, I think so. And I've been burned by young tight ends in the past. I was a big Jeremy Ruckert fan coming out of college. I liked the Jason Morrow pick, 11 years ago. Whenever
wow.
Was.
That's a name.
Chris Herndon, another name, got to throw him out there.
But he had a one-hander.
He did, and I was at that game. It was a sick game. But I'm buying in on the Mason Taylor hype. Now, I don't think he's going to go out and have a Sam Laporta or Brock Bowers.
Well, Matt, but based off what you just said, you got to not be in on him.
Okay, so I'm not in on him. He's going to be horrible, actually. 110 yards receiving.
See? That's what I'm saying. That means he's going to be good. No, I'm just playing.
There we go. No, but I think he'll be third in the team behind Garrett and Breece Hall in receiving this year. That's my
you see, that's a smart man right there. The second receiving threat on this offense will be Breece Hall. He's going to be second in receptions and yards. I agree with that. But what is Breece going to be? I mean, I'm sick of seeing the Breece Hall trade rumors. Is there a world where he is traded? Like, what's your prediction?
I don't want the Jets to trade Breece Hall, but if we get towards the trade deadline and the Jets are 2-6 and they're not really going anywhere, then I do think he would be someone that could be moved in a trade. And if they do that, I worry about the passing offense more than I worry about the running game. Like, I think Braylon Allen and Isaiah Davis can be fine as a duo, but Breece is much better than both those guys as a pass catcher. So I am not one who's like pounding the table. They absolutely have to trade him. I want to keep him and use the three of them. Use all your backs this year to your advantage. And then when you get to the offseason, you decide what you want to do, whether it's a franchise tag or bring him back on a short-term contract extension, or you just let him walk and get a comp pick, whatever the case may be. If they're in the mix and instead of 2-6, they're hanging around 500, then I'm keeping Breece Hall at the trade deadline. I don't think there's any reason to trade him.
Isaiah Davis, his injury was unfortunate timing, but I feel like that's a sleeper of this offense that can provide an impact. I mean, he had the high football IQ play in that first preseason game, pretending that the ball was going to him. I love that. It seems like Aaron Glenn and the coaching staff really like him, and they want to utilize him a lot. What's your thoughts of Isaiah Davis and his role for this season?
Yeah, I really like Isaiah Davis too. And to be completely honest with you, I thought last year Isaiah Davis was better than Braylon Allen, even though it felt like Braylon Allen got a little bit more of the hype throughout the season. Through training camp, I think Braylon has looked better than Isaiah Davis. So I fully expect Braylon to be the quote unquote RB2. But I think he's definitely a good option. And look, it's a physical game. Guys are going to get banged up. If one of Breece or Braylon Allen get hurt, then I'm more than confident with, Isaiah Davis being the RB2 if Braylon Allen's out a couple weeks. Or if Breece Hall gets hurt or traded and they bump Braylon up a spot, then him being Isaiah Davis being the RB2 in that situation. I think he could handle that kind of workload. I don't know if he's a star, but I think he can absolutely be a contributor.
He's a perfect, solid running back 3. Absolutely. Yep. Well, folks, I think Jets Roundtable has made it, because when you get these spammers in your chat, that tells me you're on the algorithm, baby. We made it. Baby. Let's go. We got the spammers. We got the bots. Somebody block them. I just gave out a lot of moderators on this brand new, fresh channel. Why don't you guys do me a favor and block them? Get them out of here. Boot them. I made you a moderator as well, man.
Oh, perfect. I'll do the same then.
Yeah, man, you don't got to worry about it. We got the moderators doing it, but you got to have that little thing next to you. Folks, please hit the thumbs up button. We're live on the Jets Roundtable, which would be a weekly edition with Matt, myself, and Jake Asman. And maybe there'll be some other additional content. You never know what's coming. So make sure you guys hit the like button and subscribe to the brand new YouTube channel. Now let's go deeper into this week 1 matchup before we wrap up the show, Matt. Give me your preview and give me what you're looking for in Aaron Rodgers' return to MetLife and Aaron Glenn and Justin Fields' debut. you? I mean, what do you look like? It's such a loaded question. It's funny how like, all right, Matt, give me your preview. It's like, well, we have 4 months to preview this game. You know, it's like, that's how I'm feeling. Like, I feel like it's such a redundant topic because, all right, I'm ready to preview Jets Bills. But what's your mindset heading into this game? Like, what are you expecting?
The under. I don't think there's going to be a lot of points scored on either side. I'd honestly be surprised if either team hits 20 points. I think you're looking at 16-13, 17-16, maybe 20-17 if we want to get nuts and say that there's some scoring in this game. But I think both defenses play well. I think with Aaron Rodgers missing a lot of time this offseason and him getting to Pittsburgh late, I think it's going to take him a few weeks to get going. And, you know, with the Jets, I know they've been preaching, you know, we're treating practice as a game situation and we're not going to come out of the gate slow. I think it's going to probably take a little bit for the Jets offense to get going too. And the Steelers have a really tough defense. So they're going to run the ball a bunch in this game. I think Justin Fields has a rushing touchdown. I don't think they ask him to do too much, maybe like 22 passing attempts in this game, something like that. And I have the Jets winning 17-16.
Oh, we got Matt predicting a win. That is what I like to hear right there. That's a Matt O'Leary Jets win prediction. I do agree. I think it's going to be a low-scoring, grinded out game. Is Nick Folk getting a game winner at the buzzer, perhaps, or how does the game end? Is it the Jets getting a defensive stop? Is it a game-winning drive? How does it end?
Game-winning field goal. They're down 16-14 on the last drive. Nick Folk redemption for Greg Zuerlein. The last time I was in the Jets building against the Broncos, he missed as the buzzer expired. So this time Nick Folk's going to put it through.
Oh boy. I hope so. Zachary wants to talk about Olu and Membu.
Okay.
Olu and Membu. So based off this, what do we talk about with them two? Olu and Membu.
I mean, brutal matchup out of the gate for Armand Membu having to go up against TJ Watt.
Gosh. Like, I think TJ Watt could literally single-handedly wreck this whole game. But hopefully they have something up their sleeve, and I guess that can be our matchup segment. I mean, we talked about it with Jake and Membu versus Watt. Now, Olu Fashanu, though, that's like the hidden gem of this entire team. Like, no one's talking about Olu. And he was so good in training camp. He looked so good in a small sample size. What's your expectations for Olu? Do you think he's going to be that rock of, like, pure pass protection, just flawless throughout this year, or there's going to be some hiccups? What do you think?
No, I think he's solid going forward now. I really do. He's gotten compared a lot to DeBrickashaw Ferguson by Jet fans, and it was really year 2 where DeBrickashaw hit his stride and was just unbelievable for 10 straight years. I think that's kind of what we're going to get from Olu. There were signs of it last year. I think he looked better in the run game than I thought he would a year ago, and during training camp in the preseason, he was moving people in the run game. I am very, very high on Olu Fashanu this year.
And isn't it funny how we've been like waiting for a left tackle and we have one and now no one's really talking about it, which is good. I like that. It should be a quiet situation going on with this left tackle room. And Olu, man, we just hope you can stay healthy because that's what DeBrickashaw Ferguson was about. Iron Man. That's what we want. And hopefully Olu can be our left tackle for the foreseeable future. Any other matchups you're looking at, whether it's Sauce, DK, Wilson versus Ramsey, Will McDonald versus Broderick Jones, going back to that draft class. Yeah, I don't know if they're going to be lined up over each other, but still a fun little storyline there. Any matchups you're looking at?
Yeah, I think the other one in there on screen right now is the DK and Sauce. I think Sauce is going to have to travel with DK Metcalf, and I'm good with that. I think he held up really well against Seattle last year. I think that was arguably his best game of the season. He did let up one reception to DK Metcalf, but I think it was like 2 catches for 28 yards on the day against Sauce Gardner. And he had a couple plays down by the goal line where it was either passes defended or really good coverage and was able to, keep it out of the end zone against DK. So with that, there's not a ton on Pittsburgh's offense that really feels like scares you. It's not like you're going up against Cincinnati, who has, 2 really good wide receivers and a good running back and a great quarterback. It's not really that same kind of matchup. So, hopefully then that allows Brandon Stevens and the rest of the cornerback room to kind of take care of everybody else.
Yeah, there's a lot of intriguing matchups to watch, and Sauce versus DK is going to be big. And I really do believe, like, my predictions with this game is this. I think that we have them exactly where we want them, the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'd rather face them week 1 than week 13 because I think they're going to get better as the season goes on. They're a veteran team that just got a lot of new people added to their roster. Yes, they have a set standard of the way that they do things because they have continuity at the coaching staff, but this is a brand new quarterback trying to learn that system. And Aaron Rodgers is usually very particular with the way he likes to do things, as we learned with the Jets. And if this team around him does not see the game through his eyes, there's going to be hiccups. There's going to be miscommunications, and I'm hopeful the Jets can take advantage of that. All right, so I'm predicting a low-scoring win as well. I got 19-16, Jets win. It's going to be tied 16-16, and Nick Folk is going to win it at the buzzer. And Matt and I will be there for this matchup. It's going to be a lot of fun. Folks, please do me a favor. Hit the like button and subscribe to Matt O'Leary. Subscribe to Jets Media and Jake Asman. We appreciate the Jets Roundtable community. We'll be live every single Thursday all throughout the season. And we're really excited to have this channel continuously grow. Matt, any final words for the people before we get out of here?
I'm excited to be back doing the Jets Roundtable every week with you. And I'm so ready for football season to start tonight. Can't wait.
Dallas versus Philadelphia up first. We'll see you guys later. Shout out to everybody in the chat. We appreciate you guys big time. Let's go, and we'll see you next time. We're out. Peace.